Hello everybody and welcome back to Dragon Wing Diamonds. I am here today with a WIP in chat. WIP stands for Work in Progress, and chat, well, I'm just gonna talk to you about my life and, the crazy, insane week I actually just had. So, hope everybody's ready. I hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, when I say crazy, insane week, I don't mean it in a good way at all. So yeah, I'll get into that just momentarily. I will just give you a little intro into what I'm doing here. So I'm working on Her Journey by Megan Walsh, this beautiful Diamond Art Club kit that I just could not resist when I saw it come out. Let's move my drill container here. Okay. I am using a new pen. It's one of these lovely roll stop pens, and I believe it's from Diamond Pen Pals. And then the tips, which I need to secure this one in here a little bit better. The tips are Diamond Art Club. Both of them are. These ones are the Everlast tips. This is just like a regular single placer metal tip. I think so, yeah. And yeah, I basically ordered it to get free shipping on my mystery box, so that worked out nicely. And then I am using putty from Aranda's Crafty Corner. This is the maple pecan one, and oh my goodness, it smells so good. Like, I just sit here sniff it all day. I do have a small shop haul I'm putting together based on these purchases, where you can see me unboxing them, but I didn't want to wait to use them because, I know I've said it before and I'll say it again, I have no self-control. That's just how I am. Okay, so, and I'm sure you guys will notice my voice sounds a little scratchy. It's not the camera or anything like that. I don't know what to call it. Like, I don't know if I should call it a cold. Okay, this is not gonna work for me. 1 second, let me plug this in. Okay. Oh, crap. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Sorry. Just gonna try to do it without the light pad, but I can't really see it very well. So, yeah, so I don't want to really call it a cold per se because it doesn't feel like a cold. I basically had like a scratchy throat one day, and then I've just been dealing with this like horrible cough and yeah, I've just been basically dealing with this scratchy voice and a cough. And Sunday night to Monday morning, like I think I slept like all of 2 hours because I spent half the night coughing. It was horrible. Okay, so normally I film this WIP in chat. Looks like a piece of trash on here. Normally I film my WIP in chats on Tuesdays, and I'm sure you guys have noticed that I am posting this very late tonight, and I do apologize for that. It's been a day. Yeah, and I'll completely explain everything in this WIP in chat because, oh my goodness, it's insane. So where do I even begin? So the rest of my spring break started out amazing with getting like good news, and then it ended absolutely horribly. So I finally heard back about the editor job, and I did not get it. And of course, they didn't really give me any explanation as to why I didn't get it. My fiance's boss is actually inquiring into that because he also was very curious about the situation. But even he said, like, the editing team over there, they just have some really dumb hiring practices. So that's kind of where I got stuck, unfortunately. Because, it really sucks that they had 4 editor jobs and, like, I didn't get one of them. Like, what the heck? So I was very upset about that. I got that news on Thursday, and, like, I was just, like, I won't lie, I spent the entire day crying because that really hurt. Like, I really wanted that. I really needed that. And unfortunately, I didn't get it. So that kind of ruined the end of my week. And then I was like, well, for a pick-me-up, like, I still have a chance for, like, a proofreader job with the same company as the company my fiance works for. So I still have a chance for a proofreader job, but like we've been waiting for the job to become available, and it's taking forever to become available. Although it should be coming here within the next couple weeks up to the next couple months. Shadow, what are you doing? Hey, Shadow. Shadow. Oh my gosh, just cat. So Shadow, stop it. Get. Okay. Sorry about that. Naughty kittens, you know. So yeah, should be hearing about that hopefully sooner rather than later, but that one's definitely got a better chance of me getting it because of the fact that it's my fiance's boss himself that's hiring for the position, and like he knows me pretty well at this point. He knows what I'm capable of, what I can do, so I know he knows I would be a great asset to that company, and he's gonna do what he can to get me in. So fingers crossed that will be it at this point. But it's just waiting for that job to become available and hoping my savings lasts until then. Yeah. Let's see. So that was Thursday, and then Saturday. So actually on Sunday was my fiance's grandfather's 90th birthday. And so Saturday they had this big party over at my fiance's parents' house. So we went over there, and it's so fun watching Sydney interact with her great-grandfather. It's so precious, like, and Sydney met like all of her aunts and uncles that she hasn't, or not, I don't know what to call them, great aunts and uncles, is that what it is when it's like when it's the grandparents' siblings? Either way. So yeah, she got to meet a bunch of people, and I met some new people too, because some of them live like I'm in New York, others live in like Florida, and like maybe Virginia. I don't remember where one of them lives. I think it's Virginia. It's somewhere in that area, or DC, or somewhere in that region. So they were all up to celebrate the birthday and everything like that. And like most of these people, the last time I saw them, Sydney was still inside my belly. Like it was literally the weekend before I gave birth. So they were all excited to see her for the first time, and they were just like, everybody was commenting on how sweet she was. And then we ended up not staying long at the party because like my fiance and I were just completely worn out from just everything. Like I was still dealing with the stresses of the position and stuff, like the job and everything like that. I was still dealing with the depression from that, because, you know, depression hits you hard when it does. So yeah, we hung out there for a little bit, had some food, watched Sydney play with her cousin Maddox, because he's very shy and there's a lot of people there that he didn't know also. So like we just kind of hung out in the living room with him and Sydney and just let them do their thing, and it worked out really well. And then when we went to leave, I had Sydney say goodbye to her great-grandfather, and like she reached out and she touched his cheek, and it was just the sweetest thing ever. And like my fiance's aunt was just, she was, oh man, I hate when I do that. She was just so amazing, or she was so like she almost started crying because it was just the sweetest little thing ever. And well, my daughter is the sweetest thing. I know I'm probably just like, I sound biased, but she really is. And then Sunday, not really too much happened. We just kind of, what the heck? Sorry guys, I'm a hot mess today. I say that in a lot of my videos though, don't I? Yeah, so Sunday we kind of just relaxed and got ready for me to be, like, I basically was getting myself mentally prepared for going back to school and everything like that. But then that's when this throat thing jumped in. So like it started out with like, I felt like one of my tonsils was a little swollen. So I took some Tylenol or ibuprofen, whatever. I took some medicine to help it. or to cut down the swelling, and then I was just left with a scratchy cough, which has been ailing me since. So yeah, that hit me on Sunday, and then Sunday night to Monday morning, like I said, I only slept for like maybe 2 hours. And then we have the boys back this week, and Mondays and Thursdays are Alex's band days. So we have to get him up and on the high school bus on those days, and like that means like we have to get up at 6:30 to get him onto that bus. So like I think the last time I looked at my phone, at the clock on my phone, it was like it was 4 o'clock in the morning, and the alarm went off at 6:30. So yeah, I was not a happy camper. And then Monday was my morning to get up with the baby too on top of it, and like I was so tired and everything like that. And so when she went down for a nap, I kind of just like crawled back into bed and like laid and just fell asleep for a little bit. And then when I woke up, I felt like absolute garbage. Like I felt horrible. And like it was my first day back to school from vacation and stuff, like from spring break, and I didn't go to my class like I didn't do my classes on Monday just because I felt that horrible. So yeah, it was kind of rough. So I slept a lot on Monday, and then like I was basically up for when the boys were home, and then like stop doing that. Yeah, so that I don't know. I felt like crap. I think that's basically all that happened on Monday, was just me feeling like ick. And then, oh yeah, we've been running into some issues too. So Alex has been very good at forgetting to bring things home, especially his trumpet, which is like our rental right now. Like we haven't outright purchased it, so we're paying on it monthly. And if it gets lost, we're gonna have to like pay that thing in full, which is like not something we can afford to do. Like there was one time where we actually thought he lost his trumpet, and like my fiance told him, like, you know, if you don't find this and we have to pay for it, you are not getting birthday or Christmas presents for a while. And thankfully that lit a fire and got him to find it. So yeah, we've been dealing with that this week with him forgetting his trumpet. So like Monday he came home with it, and then they also, like, I know I mentioned this before, but the schools all do the 3 school 1 book thing, where all 3 of the elementary schools in our town read the same, like they read from the same book. And when like they have these little packets that they answer questions based on what they read in the day. So like he had a bunch of those from last week when he was at his mom's house that he forgot to turn in. And so we like told him, like, okay, so you need to remember to bring your trumpet home, and you need to remember to turn in all these slips of paper, otherwise you're not going to have your switch tomorrow, or switch out, like, when you get home. Because, you know, it's the only way we can get them to do stuff is to threaten the switch. So yeah, we did that, and then, of course, on Tuesday, he came home once again without his trumpet. He at least remembered to turn the slips in. And like, I guess like when we first mentioned it, we didn't really specify that with the trumpet, he would, like, if he didn't bring his trumpet home, he would lose his switch. But he ended up pushing us into that anyways, because like he was trying to argue, so like he came home without the trumpet, but he turned in the slips, and then he was trying to argue that we only told him that he needed to do the one thing in order to earn a switch. He didn't have to do the other. And it's like, okay, so now you're just kind of like picking and choosing what you want to do, like what you choose to listen to, and that did not sit well with both of us, actually. And it's like, okay, like we told, like, I was at school when all this is going down, because, you know, I start school at like 2 on Tuesday, Thursdays, and then I'm there until 6:15. And so like my fiance is like texting me, telling me all this stuff that's happening, and I texted him back. I'm like, well, I think we should still, you know, take the switch away from him, just because it sounds like he's doing the thing that he needs to do to not lose his video game, but he's not doing the whole thing. And like my fiance's like, oh yeah, that's basically what I told him, like verbatim. Like, I was like, man, we are just like so in sync on this, aren't we? So yeah, he ended up losing his Switch because, you know, mostly just because the lesson kind of needs to be learned. Like, you know, just because we said two things, and just because we said there would only be a punishment with not doing one of them doesn't mean you just can not do the other. So we reminded him this morning, because like usually I film my WIP and chats on Tuesdays, and I didn't. I'm filming it actually Wednesday, so that also is part of why it's a little late. So yeah, we told him like today, like this morning, like you need to bring your trumpet home. So yeah, I need to get a sip. My throat is very dry. Okay. So yeah, so yeah, he lost the Switch for Tuesday, and yeah, so yeah, like I said, usually I film these WIP and chats on Tuesday nights, Tuesday nights when I'm get home from school and everything like that. But the reason why that did not happen this week is because I pulled out in my workshop class where we have like 3 big assignments that are being workshopped, and I hadn't looked at the assignment list since she like gave it to us before break, and I was like, man, I should probably like at least figure out what subject I want to write about, and then like I can work on it, because it's not due until like the 27th or something like that. So I was like, okay, I'll pull this out, I'll take a look, and then I'll figure out what I want to write about. And so basically it's for our next 2 assignments, there's like a list of 5 things that we can choose from to write about. And I was looking through it, and then like one of them is like an autobiography, and then it's got like a ... and then it gives like a list of things, like there's like cars, and like I don't remember any of the other ones. I remember the one I wrote about, and cars. I don't know why cars stuck out to me. So the one I chose actually was an autobiography in funerals, which led to a very random text chain with my mom. So basically, when I was younger, I had a really rough 6 years of my life, because every 2 years I lost somebody. It was my grandfather, my dad, and then my grandmother, in that order. And so because that all happened so condensed, I was like, this is like the perfect thing to write about. But then of course, you know, like I remember like the time frame that my grandfather passed away, because I remember it was springtime. I thought it was in May sometime, which I was actually correct on that. I remember it was like springtime, and because I was in my marching band, or not marching, well, I was in color guard, and I was at a practice, and that's when my mom called me and told me she was coming to get me because my grandfather was being taken to the hospital. And we basically went out to my grandma's house and kind of just like chilled there until we heard the news that my grandfather had passed away. He had pancreatic cancer, so it wasn't surprising that was going to happen. So, I mean, it was just kind of like one of those matter of time ordeals, but when you're a 16-year-old kid, that is not an easy thing to go through. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, well, I don't remember when this happened. And then I tried pulling up an obituary for my grandfather. But of course, like, this is like the time before everything was put on the internet, so I couldn't find it anywhere. And so I texted my mom and I'm like, hey, a random question. Like, do you have a copy of Grandpa and Grandma's obituaries? And then my mom just responded. She goes, yes, that's a random question, and yes, I do. I can pull them for you. And then, like, I explained to her the assignment, like basically writing, like I'm writing an autobiography based on the funerals based on funerals in my life and stuff like that. And like, she was like, "Oh, that's an interesting topic." And I was like, "Yeah," it was like one of the ones. Oh my gosh, why am I doing so bad with this today? Come here. I was like, "Yeah, that's one of the ones that I could pull from," and that one just kind of like spoke to me just because of all the crap that happened in that short amount of time. It was just perfect. So she ended up, thankfully my mom, she's a genealogist, so she just like archives everything. She got that sent out to me, or she got that emailed over to me, so I was able to put actual dates in and stuff like that. The way I formatted it was really like, I like the way I did that too, because like I started at first, like I typed up the thing and then I ended it with what would look like the headstones, but then like I looked at my fiance and I'm like, would this be better at the beginning or the end? And he's like, oh, that would be so much better at the beginning. So I was like, okay. So I went and moved him to the beginning, and I'm really proud of like the piece that I wrote. I still have to go back and just like double check it though and edit it and add things to it. But I have like 6 more, or at this point 5 more days to do that, because I'm like way ahead of the game, which I'm really proud of myself for. But yeah, it was just one of those moments where I was sitting there and I was looking through the assignments, and then as I picked the topic, and then from there the story, it just started writing itself, and I'm like, well, I guess this is what I'm doing tonight. So that's why the WIP and chat got delayed, which, I mean, I guess it's kind of a good thing it got delayed, just because there wasn't really a lot that happened. There we go. There wasn't really a lot that happened at the end of my break. I mean, just like those couple of annoying things. Let's see. I just started this kit, so I'm not sure where things are in my thing yet. Okay, I'll do this one. Okay, so yeah, so it was a good thing that it happened, because today was a day. Oh my gosh. So yeah. But yeah, that was like the end of my night. I wrote that entire piece. By the time I finished, it was like 10 o'clock, and I was like, well, I don't have the energy to film my WIP and chat. Plus, like, writing about specifically my dad and my grandfather were difficult for me, because like I guess, like, I don't know if it I know why. My grandmother and I had a very strained relationship. So when she passed away, like, I like cried initially at the news, but then like I haven't cried since. Like, I know it sounds like terrible. I mean, I cry over my dad's. Actually, I don't really cry over grandpa either that much, which is like, I feel like it's terrible, because it's like, man, these are my grandparents, but like I guess my dad just absorbed all of my sadness at this point, just because like that was probably the most significant loss in my life. So yeah, by the time I was done writing that, I was just like, I was mentally exhausted. I was physically exhausted just from like the day in school, because like my Tuesdays and Thursdays are just so long, because I get up in the morning and I take care of the baby all morning, because my fiance's in the office, and then he gets home from work, and I go right to school at we eat lunch, and then I go right to school afterwards, and then I'm there until almost 7 o'clock, and then come home, and it's just like the rush to get dinner done and all. It's a lot. There's long days, and that is like one thing I'm looking forward to the end of the semester for, is just these long days will go away. But so yeah, like by the time I finished writing that, I was just like, I was so tired. I'm like, I don't think I can focus. Like, I don't think I can sit and focus and just talk and do this today. So I was like, okay, I'll just film it tomorrow morning. It'll be fine. Or not tomorrow morning. Like, I figured I'd film it before the boys got home from school, because like I have this grace period between my class and them getting home. Because like I get home from class like 2:45ish, and then they don't get home till 4. So I was like, that's like perfect time. And usually Sydney's down for a nap at that point, and so like it would have been a perfect time. It would have been if today was a normal day, but of course it wasn't. So yeah, so this morning, so Drake, he started chorus today, And so my fiance had to drive him to school because there's like no bus that will pick them up and bring them in on those days. Like, at least for Alex's band, he can ride the high school bus. Drake doesn't have that option for chorus for some reason. I don't know. So yeah, we had to rearrange our morning routine. So my fiance got up with Drake and got him to school. I got up with Alex, got him on the bus, and then the plan was that my fiance was going to take care of the baby and I was going to lay down for a little bit and get a little bit of rest because it was my morning to sleep in. So I did lay down and I did fall back asleep for a little bit because, like, he got on the bus about 8-ish. And so, like, I fell back, he got on the bus at 8-ish, and my fiance got home, like, right after he got on the bus, so he took over the baby from me then. And then, because, yeah, she, of course, got up early this morning, so we had to deal with her on top of everything. Like, I basically got Alex on the bus, and then I went upstairs and got her out of bed, changed her diaper, because she's a morning pooper, so every morning I have a nice dirty diaper to change. Joys of parenthood, right? So yeah, my fiance got home, took over for her, and then I came upstairs and laid down. And then since she got up so early, we basically try to keep her up for like 2-ish hours after she gets up in the morning. And so I was like, so he laid her down for a nap, and then he came in and he was about to lay down to just like rest his eyes for a little bit as well. And as soon as he did, he got a phone call from the school. And like I was like half awake for this as he was listening to it. It was like an automated message. And then like I heard the word evacuation and my eyes just shot open and I like looked over at him and he's just like listening to the message and stuff like that. So apparently somebody had called in they emailed in a bomb threat for the entire school district. So that's 3 elementary schools, a middle school, and a high school. So they called that in or emailed that in at like 8:30 this morning. The school reacted promptly, got all the kids out of the building, and then called all the parents and told them that they needed to come pick up their kids. So between like us and the boys and their cousins, we have kids spread to various different schools. My 2 boys go to one elementary school with their cousins from their mom's side. And then the cousins from their dad's side, one of them goes to a pre-K near the boys' elementary school, and then the other one goes to a different elementary school. So my fiance went to get the boys, and then actually they ended up running into their mom there because she was there picking up their cousins for her sister. And then while my fiance was getting the boys, he got a call from his sister asking if he could pick up Maddox, the one who's in the pre-K there. And it's actually funny because just as they were doing that, Maddox was being walked over to him because his teacher knows the family. And so she like walked him over and she's like, I'm guessing you're here for him, right? And my fiance's like, well, I wasn't before, but I am now. So he got him. And so like I'm home with the baby through all this, of course, too. So like I'm just like waiting to hear stuff. And like I was staying pretty cool for everything because like I knew the boys were okay. I know the school district, they did a phenomenal job. I'm just going to say that right now. They did a great job on getting everybody out, keeping everybody calm. I'm so proud of my boys too. Like Alex especially, like he had some classmates that were freaking out and he was trying to help them calm down, and he held his cool up until he saw his parents. Then he kind of cried. He said he cried when he saw his parents, which, you know, it's a stressful situation for a kid, and like that's a lot. Like Alex is only 10 and Drake is only 8, and having to go through this is like scary stuff. And like I don't think they were given much information. They were just told that they had to evacuate, and like Drake was told he couldn't even grab his backpack and everything like that. Like they just left. And and that's why I laughed about the trumpet thing, because once again, the trumpet didn't come home, but we couldn't punish him for that because that is not his fault. Because they basically told him they had to get out of the building. So yeah, that ended up like throwing the whole day into craziness. So I got a call from my fiance after he had the 3 kids in the car, and he's like, okay, so I have Alex, Drake, and Maddox in the car right now. I was like, oh, I was wondering if you'd end up with another one. Because his sister just started a new job this week too, and so like she was at work when this is all going on. And I think the kid's dad was at work too. I don't know much about what's going on with that. So yeah, like he told me like he had the 3 kids in the car, and then his dad went to pick up Eli, the other cousin, at the other elementary school that he goes to, and then they ended up actually all hanging out. Like, so his dad was like said like yeah, we'll just bring the boys over to my house, and then I'll keep them and have a cousin play date, which I think was like the perfect thing for them, because at least they were like all together. They got to spend the day going crazy and playing. Like, I mean, my poor father-in-law, like he was so tired by the end of the day. Which is understandable, because like having 4 kids at 10 and under, like, oh my goodness. And like Eli and Maddox are crazy too. Like they have a lot of energy, like so much energy. So he had a lot to deal with. So yeah, then there's more complications that arose from that, because like, so we dropped the boys were there. My fiance came home, and like he sat down to start trying to do work again. And then there was like a situation with a handoff with the cousins and their dad, and he didn't like have all their stuff to hand off with them and stuff like that. So we had to arrange getting that too. So what ended up happening was like I had to leave for my class at like 12:50, and then what I did, because like my fiance's parents are literally 3 roads over from us, so like they're like a 5-minute drive, and they're on my way to school. The house is on my way to school. So we loaded up with my fiance, myself, and Sydney in the car. I dropped them off at his parents' house, and then I went out to school. And then while I was at school, like my fiance's father went out and got the forgotten or the missed stuff and got them back to the house, because basically they just needed someone to cover at the house with the kids while he ran to get that stuff. And my fiance is so smart. He decided to grab the 3 School 1 book, because he's like, well, Eli needs to do this too, so I'm gonna bring this over, and I'll read it while my dad's getting that stuff. I'm like, wow, that's a good idea. And then that way us and his sister didn't have to worry about that after we got home tonight. So he went and did that. I got to school, and like when I was finally at school, like that was the first time I'd actually had a chance to like just sit and think about it for a second. And then like my teacher sits, like she's like looking around at all of us. She's like, how's everybody's doing? And I'm just like, I'm having the most chaotic day of my life. And then she's like, oh, what's going on? And then I was like, yeah, my kids go to this school district. And she goes, oh yeah, I heard about that, because like it's all over the news. Everything that happens on the news. And so like I was saying, like, or they're like, everybody was like, my classmates were so awesome. I was like, oh my God, is everybody okay and everything? I'm like, yeah, kids are home, or kids are safe. They're at their grandparents' house having a cousin play date, just forgetting that this whole thing happened, just having a good time together. And like everybody's like, oh good. And then like Stefan, oh my God, he's such a sweetheart. He just like looks at me, he goes, are you okay? And I'm like, I think so. I'm pretty numb to everything right now, just because like it's just been pure chaos. Like that's what I call it. Like, yeah, when I refer to this day, I just think chaos. Like today was pure chaos. That's all it was. And so like I told him like, yeah, I think I'm just like numb to everything at this point, just because like, you know, I spent the morning trying to be strong for my fiance, make sure like everything. Hi, Shadow. It's okay. Yeah, so I spent the whole morning trying to be calm. Shadow, get out of here. Go lay on the bed. And, like, I don't know, I guess I didn't get a chance to let it hit me, and I don't think it has quite hit me yet. Maybe it will later, and, like, I'll just, like, burst into tears. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, so yeah, we kept an eye on the news reports and everything like that, and the good news is that they did not find anything. They scoured all the schools, because it was like the school, the district office, and the superintendent's personal home address as well. Like, so yeah, they checked all these areas, made sure everything was okay, like nothing was found. It was just an empty threat, thankfully. And like, just once again, I just gotta say, like, I'm just so happy that the school just reacted in the way they did. They kept everything calm. They got buses there. They had the kids sit on the buses because it's winter here. But on the bright side, this happened on a day that was 50 degrees at least, so it wasn't the bitingly cold 30 degrees it's been, which was, at least that was a good thing. But yeah, it's rough, because, like, these poor kids, like, it's already, another trash drill, it's already hard enough to, like, go through life, like, they're dealing with the divorce, of course, like, it's not something that you're just instantly over, like, that's something that's going to be part of you forever. Like, your parents got divorced, and it's a rough situation, especially with, like, the differences in the houses, and, like, we have rules and they don't, and she doesn't, and, you know, it's just, you know, or I guess I shouldn't say she doesn't have rules. I just say, like, they have very different rules and stuff like that, and I don't know, she expects more out of them than, or she has them do more than we do. I don't know the full details. We only get secondhand from what we're told, from the boys. But yeah, like, they're already dealing with the stresses of that. And then, you know, the stresses of, you know, being kids. Alex is, like, entering preteen here soon, and he'll be dealing with puberty and all that stuff soon, too. And that's going to be difficult. And, like, just to throw this on top, the fact they had to go through this, I'm actually concerned for the morning, because I don't know what's going to happen in the morning. I kind of have the feeling we're going to get a I'm afraid to go to school today situation. Whether it's him actually being afraid, or him thinking he can use this as a way to not go to school, because if Alex can find a way to not go to school, he will. Because, you know, he just wants to stay home and play video games like any other 10-year-old boy. Okay, sorry. Throat is super dry today. There we go. So yeah. Yeah, so started out as a cousin play date, and then it kind of stemmed off into a family dinner night. So once my fiance's sister was out of work, she came over, and, like, we had pizza for dinner, and, like, we just kind of sat as a family, which was really nice. It was very needed. So yeah. Yeah, so that was my hectic day and my boring week, I guess. We're at 40 minutes, not too bad. I'm so sorry about the coughing. Yeah, the throat thing is really annoying. I don't know where it came from. I don't know what to call it. Maybe laryngitis. I don't know. Excuse me. Oh yeah, and then, like, on top of everything else that we were dealing with today, I was supposed to be doing a presentation tomorrow. And, like, I emailed my teacher, and I was like, look, this is what happened today. I had planned on using, like, a majority of this day to work on said presentation, and yeah, it's not gonna happen because of, and, like, I told her, and I mean, I think by this point everybody saw the news, because like a lot of like, actually my mother-in-law said that, hi Shadow, she said that a lot of her students had to leave because of the situation, because they had like nieces and nephews they had to go pick up and stuff like that. Hi Shadow. Apparently this is a WIP and chat featuring Shadow, my noisy kitten who's locked in the room with me and he's not happy about it. But yeah, like, so I emailed her. I'm like, look, this is the deal. I could put something together for tomorrow, but it would not be my best work. And like, thankfully this teacher is super understanding, and she's like, oh yeah, it's no problem. Just let me know what day you want to switch your presentation to. And I was like, okay, awesome. Thank you. So now I gotta look at the listing and see who else is presenting on what days and pick. Like, I was all excited for this one too. Like, I had an idea in mind. Like, I knew what I was gonna, I had a general idea of what I was gonna present on, and yeah, by the time we were done with this day, I wasn't gonna have time for that. Let's see, what else do I have to tell you? Yeah, unfortunately, like, Monday was kind of boring because I was not feeling good, so I just really didn't do much. I did finish a painting. Yeah, I finished my painting for Mermaids and Magic, and then I did a DIY moonshot painting that was a snack size afterwards, which you guys probably saw the post review already. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll just bump out the snack size really quick. Little did I know it was a snack size with a lot of confetti. But the image looks beautiful, so I won't complain too much. It just took me like an extra 2 days to get it done, when it would have normally taken me 2 days. Oh yeah, I know what else upset me over the weekend. Or no, it was Monday. Right? Yeah, that was also on Monday. So I play World of Warcraft, and they had this big content drop yesterday, because Tuesdays are maintenance days, and like they had a big content drop, and I have not been able to play because my computer is dead, as I mentioned in another WIP and chat. Or my computer is unplayable for video games. I can use it for other things, but it's, yeah, I just can't play games with it right now. So yeah, I was really bummed about that, and like I was like, man, I really want to play the new content. And then, hold on, I'm going to let that cat out of here so it doesn't stop yelling at us. Animals. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, so I was super bummed and everything like that, and I was like, man, I really want to play this new content. It looks pretty awesome, and like, it still looks awesome because all my guildies are like constantly talking about it in guild chat, and I'm like, man. So I was like, well, maybe if I can, like, my fiance has a Best Buy credit card, but I don't want to use his for this I don't want to use it for a purchase because of the house refinance that we're trying to do, and adding more credit to his credit, like adding this to his credit score would not be ideal for this. So I was like, I don't want to use your credit card. Well, maybe I can get my own and apply. Like, yeah, I'll apply for my own credit card and see if I can get one through Best Buy. And so, like, at first, like, we're like, okay, well, let's look at the stuff and stuff like that. And we found this really nice computer, and it's like the brand of computer I like, and it's got great specs and everything like that. And I was like, oh man, this is a really nice computer. And so I applied for the credit card, and then got immediately rejected. And like, I won't lie, I got so upset. I just like lost it, because it's like, man, I can't just get one thing right now. Like, come on. Like, can I have some sort of good news? And so like, I came upstairs, and then I just like, I let myself cry, because you know, sometimes you just gotta cry it out. So I was upset about that, and yeah, I was I was very upset, and I was like, well, I guess that's that. No new computer for me until I can get a job. And like, yeah, my fiance's like, well, we can do it on my card. And I'm like, no, I don't. I need, like, I'm trying to be a responsible adult and not just like, I know this is like a luxury, so I don't want to knock, like, I don't want to ruin something just because I want this luxury, you know? So, yeah, I was upset. And I'm still a little upset about it because it's like, you know, seeing everybody's talking about the game and stuff like that, and I want to play. So yeah, that was my first world problem, I guess I can say. My first world problem of the week was just not being able to, or not getting approved for the credit card so I can get a computer. And it's just, yeah, this is just my life right now. I'm just getting a string of bad news, and hopefully the good news will start coming soon. Although it kind of seems like everything, or it seems like a lot of people are dealing with that as well too, so yeah. Thinking. I don't think I really did anything else super exciting. Yeah. Fortunately, like, I literally did nothing for my spring break. Like, it was so nice. Like, I didn't do any schoolwork. I didn't do anything. And, like, it's funny, too, because, like, I made a list. Oh, there's something attached to that. I made a list of things I wanted to get done. And, like, I did get some of the things done. Like, wanted to get, like, all of our laundry done and stuff. So I got me and my fiance's laundry done and folded and put away. And then I got Sydney's laundry done and folded, but hers isn't put away because I have to, I need to find, like, my fiance just needs to take her for a little bit so I can, like, go through her drawers and, basically, like, sort out things, because she's still got, like, 6-month clothes in her drawers that she doesn't fit in anymore because this girl's, like, going into 12-month clothes now. Craziness. She still fits in her 9-month at least, for the most part. Oh my goodness. So this girl, she's killing all of her footy pajamas. Let's do this. I need more anyways. She's killing her footy pajamas because she is, like, she's constantly, like, pointing her toes. And so, like, the other day I was looking at her foot and I was like, wait a minute, there's a little toe peeking through there. So she, like, ripped a hole in one pair of her footy pajamas already. And then she's got another pair that we noticed yesterday that are starting to rip at, like, they have, like, seams in them where they're about to rip at the toe as well. And I'm like, girl, what are you doing to your footy pajamas? You're gonna make it hard for us to be able to, like, hand me down these clothes and stuff like that. So yeah, she's being the terror of her PJs. I mean, in reality, she wears them a lot of the time because we don't leave the house a lot. And so I just we let her stay in her PJs. Just easier that way, like, and less laundry and everything like that. When we leave the house, whenever she leaves the house, though, we put her in, like, a onesie and some pants. Because it's freaking cold here. So ready for spring and summer, like, very ready for it. Like, today where I live, it was, like, about, like, it was just under 50 degrees, but out at the college, it was almost 60 degrees. And I was, like, basking in that. Like, I had my sleeves pushed up, and, like, I was just, like, enjoying it so much. It felt so nice. And it's, like, today would have been one of those days, like, if everything else didn't happen, today would have been a really good day, I feel like, because that weather would have been enough to boost my mood. But enough to boost anybody's mood, but unfortunately, it was kind of impossible to boost a mood with everything that happened. Yeah. Just trying to think if I'm missing anything. Don't think so. I think I basically touched on everything that happened. I did, like, anybody who saw my Instagram, I'm unbox those paint gems on my channel. I actually started working on one of them on Tuesday, because right now for one of my homework assignments well, unfortunately we're finishing the book up. I've been listening to this book on audiobook, and I find that I can diamond paint really well when listening to audiobooks. And that got really exciting for me, because I was like, okay, I can do my homework and diamond paint at the same time, because I definitely don't have a problem. I promise I'm not addicted. Okay, maybe just a little. So yeah, I brought one of those paint gem kits to school to see how it worked out and everything like that. And honestly, it was so relaxing just to be able to diamond paint in between my classes. Like, it was so nice. And like, I just got to kick back, I listened to my book, I got through a full one of those little, like, I'm working on the space one first. And so I got through one full painting so far, and then I started another one, because I had like 20 minutes, and I was like, well, I have 20 minutes, I can at least get this one started and cover it back up with the plastic afterwards, if I don't finish it, which of course, you know, I didn't get close to even finishing half of it. Because time flies when you're having fun and have to go to class. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that again tomorrow. Because I don't really, my Friday class is canceled because my teacher has a conference that she's going to, so that works out nicely. So I don't have class on Friday. So once I'm done on Thursday, tomorrow, like, that's it for the week. And now I'd say I don't think I have any big assignments that are due like in the immediate future, which is really nice. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy my little bit of free time there, my quiet time to sit there and diamond paint without kids and stresses of life. Although I still get stresses of life because, you know, I get text messages. Well, I text him too, because I've kind of gotten into the habit, like, when I'm at the college and stuff like that, once I get out of my class, I'll text my fiance and just check up and see how things are going, and he'll tell me, like, oh yeah, Sydney napped today, or she decided to cry instead of napping. Oh god, yeah, and also, guys, I need help sent. Like, my child is teething, and I don't know why, like, the first round of teeth that came in wasn't nearly as bad. Like, she was not this miserable. But this set, like, because she got her two bottom teeth first, and now it's like her two top teeth are coming in on the front. And she is just so miserable. Like, I feel bad for her, because of course she's in pain and stuff like that. And we've been giving her like Tylenol and stuff like that to help. But it's like, oh my goodness, like, girl, there's a couple nights where she wasn't sleeping. She's like snot city, of course, because, you know, that's what happens with teething, and she's like drooling, so like her face is just like wet all the time. And yeah, it's been a nightmare, but it's part of the growing pains and hard work being a little baby and everything. Okay, I know I didn't get that one, but I think, yeah, I have percent in here, and that's in my second tray, so I'll do that after. And I preemptively cut this because I knew I was going to get there. Yeah, so she's just been having a rough time with her teething, and oh my goodness. So this morning I was sleeping, like I said, and as I was sleeping, I heard a loud bang, and then I heard her start crying, and I was like, oh, well, she knocked something over and scared herself, I'm sure, because, you know, I also heard my fiance say, it's okay, you're fine. So, like, she was okay. So when my fiance got up and, like, we woke up and everything like that, after the phone call came from the school, he was like, so I'm guessing you heard that bang down here. I'm like, yeah, it kind of woke me up. He's like, yeah, so Sydney grabbed a hold of the tray table, because we have a tray table set up, because we have, like, one of those couches that are kind of like an L like this, and, like, I've been, like, nesting in the corner with a lap table. That's what it's called, right? Yep. Oh, I think I woke her up. Whoopsies. Yeah, so I've been kind of like nesting in the corner of the lap table, and that's where I do my diamond painting stuff. And then I have the tray table there because the table next to the couch is just like on the others, like it's all the way over here, and I'm like in here. So I've been setting that up so I could have like a drink nearby me and stuff like that. Well, now that I think about it, I could just get a lid or drink with a cup, or yeah, a cup with a lid. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Anyways, so we had that set up there, and I didn't pick that up last night. I don't remember why. I guess I just forgot. Because usually I try to pick it up when the boys are here, because they usually, like, you know, I don't know. I just try to keep it out of their way, basically. Because playpens are already taking up most of the living room, so don't want to make more of a hindrance to people. So, yeah, she apparently had grabbed a hold of that, and my fiance had his foot hooked in it, so that way she shouldn't have been able to knock it over, but then he's like, I don't know if I had an itch or a cramp or something, but I moved my foot, and then, like, apparently it was like a slow motion thing where, like, she grabbed on the table and then just started going backwards with it until, like, she landed on the ground and the table was on top of her. She's okay. Don't worry. It's okay. It happened very gradually, and she didn't get any, like, pain. Like, she didn't. I mean, she's got, like, a little tiny mark on her cheek. She's got, like, a little line from the table, but she's okay. She cried for a couple minutes, and my fiance comforted her, and she was fine afterwards. Because, you know, kids, they bounce back pretty quick. So yeah, that was a fun story to wake up to, and I was like, well, I mean, yeah, that's my girl. And of course, later on, she was playing in her playpen, and then she fell over, and then she clunked her head on the ground, and then she started crying and freaking out. And I was like, oh no. And I picked her up, and I was holding her, and she wasn't coming down from this one. Like, I don't know if she, like, extra spooked herself or something with this one, but yeah, she was just upset, and so, like, I rocked her back and forth until she calmed down, and I was like, you want some lunch? And then, like, she, like, kind of perked up as I started moving her over to the high chair and gave her some of her puffs to play with and stuff like that, because she's still figuring out how to put food in her mouth. So she'll grab a puff in each hand, and then she'll try to put it in her mouth, but then it, like, gets stuck to her fingers because she always, like, licks her, or she's always got her fingers in her mouth. So yeah, she mostly plays with them, and then she started this thing recently where she will have, like, the puffs in her hand, and then she'll hand one to me, and then I'll take it from her, and then I'll give it to her. And then, so, like, whenever she's ready for the next one, she'll put it in my hand for me to give her. It's really cute. But yeah, we're working on trying to get her to just eat them herself. We got those rice rusks, and it's like, we got an apple flavored one because she really likes apple stuff. So yeah, we got her those to try to practice putting food in her mouth, and hopefully she'll start picking up on it from that. But yeah, she's a crazy little girl, that's for sure. Yeah, and then tonight, you know, we're having dinner, and we have we have a thing of puffs here that are, like, banana flavored that we just keep on the dining room table. And then we have a thing of puffs in our diaper bag for her for when we're out of the house. And the ones that we have in the diaper bag are apple. They're apple flavored puffs. And she like I said, she loves her apple stuff. So when we were having dinner at my fiance's parents' house, she was eating puffs, and then they have a dog, and so she would drop one on the ground and watch the dog eat it, and then drop another on the ground and just watch the dog eat it. So where'd that go? There it is. So yeah, Sydney is now Maisie's best friend because, yeah, puffs. Gave her food. Gave her human food. Just drop it off the side of the high chair there. Cause that's, yeah, it was cute though. And yeah, Maisie definitely was there for it. Okay. Oh no, oh wow. Okay, we are at an hour now, so that will be it for this WIP and chat then. So thank you guys for spending this time with me. If you spent this whole time and made it to the end of the video and you're not already subscribed, definitely recommend doing so, because I mean, you stayed this long. Hopefully that means you enjoyed it. So yeah. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Throw me a like, throw me a comment, just let me know how things are going, what you're working on, stuff like that. Yeah, getting attacked by hair. Oh my god, I just lost my train of thought. Okay, so I said the subscribe, I said the like, I said the comment, and I think that's everything. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.